Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we have a lot to go over. A lot of news and some kind of controversies happened over the weekend that, of course, I had to get my Congress review out because that's the new hot item in the armory. I wanted to get that out for you guys, so we pushed all this back to today. So yeah, I've got a lot to get going through, so let's go ahead and get going. The footage in the background, I wanted to get like at least one or two good, decent games just to be running in the background. I know for these devil blog videos, they're not, it's not really important. But boy, just watch the teams that I get matched up against and matched with for these matches in the constellation. It was something, all right. Blowout matches are rare, But anyway, let's go ahead and get going. We'll start off, of course, with the summer sale loot boxes disaster. Now, if you don't know, which I doubt very many of you watching right now do not know, and this is a very weird summer sale in my opinion. It's not really anything that I think a lot of people are willing to put a lot of money down for. When you think of a summer sale, you might think of something like the Steam summer sale, where a lot of games go on huge discounted sales. Like you could pick up like a game that came out like 2 months ago for like $20 instead of the normal $50 or $60 or however much it cost. And World of Warships, every now and then they actually have a summer sale that I would consider an actual sale, where ships go on sale and certain events go on and such. But this go round, they decided to do what was Distant Voyages containers, or whatever they call them. Yeah, Distant Voyages containers, where in these containers you can potentially get one of any amount of camouflages, permanent camouflages. Now, permanent camouflages are attractive to quite a few people. There are some quite beautiful camouflages in this game. Like, for example, one that they tout at the top is the Japanese lacquer camo for the Hayate. It is one of the most beautiful camos in this game, and art department just knocked it out of the park with this one. And there's quite a few others. Now, if you look at the full list, which I should just have a little clip running through up on screen right here, it's a whole lot of camos, like a lot of special camos, that most of these, to my knowledge, are just the normal premium camo boost. Like, they're not the beer can aroma camo boost that's like puts you right next to Missouri in terms of in terms of credit and XP gain, so not really anything you really want to throw your money at. But anyway, if you look at the description of these containers now, it says that you have a chance to get one of these permanent camouflages. And these permanent camouflages are pretty expensive. They're normally around 8,000 doubloons to buy, which that's a fair chunk of change. But of course, they're completely cosmetic, and if you just buy the normal premium camo, you get the same economic boost. However, apparently, for a few hours before my stream started, at least, the description read that they will drop one of these camos, one of these permanent camouflages. And to purchase these containers, you need these, whatever the hell they're calling them, summer tokens, voyages tokens, whatever, which you can get by buying doubloons. When you buy doubloons, you get a certain amount of them. That's how I have the ones I have now. I do believe there are some combat missions you can do to get a few, to where you can get a couple of these containers. But, of course, they want people to buy doubloons to get the tokens to potentially get these camouflages. So it said that you will get a permanent camouflage, originally the description. However, that is, of course, not the case, as that would have been actually pretty darn generous and might have made this event worth it. Because if you're guaranteed to get at least one permanent camo per container, I mean, you're going to get a permanent camo. But even still, even at that point, just with the sheer amount of permanent camos in these containers, I wouldn't even do it. Because look, I've got 273 ships in my port right now. That's me. I buy premiums all the time to review for you guys. I play this game constantly. I wouldn't do it, because there's still a chance a lot of these camos, I probably don't have the ship that these camos go with. I mean, I probably have most of them, but still, You do that, you spend money, then you get a permanent camo for a like, I don't have the Hayate. And normally, like, I'd get the Japanese lacquer with the Hayate. But yeah, I wouldn't do it. But anyway, so that's not the case. It's a chance of them dropping. But it wasn't that in the description. It said they will drop a permanent camouflage. So naturally, that's not true. And this is another classical case of wargaming's just excellent communication skills. And if you can't tell, that's sarcasm. And this isn't, of course, rare with wargaming. This happens all the time. Again, we just had the Yukon incident. I read one of the dev blogs on stream the other day, and the grammar and it wasn't the best. And I don't have the best grammar, but I mean, when you read through a lot of these articles that wargaming posts and such, it's common to find not spelling mistakes really, but just grammatical mistakes, the mistakes in the structure of the sentences. I don't speak Russian, but I'm pretty sure the sentence structure isn't exactly like English. So I'm pretty sure they just throw these in a translator, then post the article on their website. And that's probably what happened here. Either they threw it in Google Translate and just skimmed through it real quick and didn't pay attention and posted at that in game, but it got fixed incredibly fast. This event went live on Friday, and by the evening when my stream started, viewers of my stream was saying, "Hey, look, go look at the summer sale containers," and they were freaking out about it in chat. But when I read it in chat in the evening, it said may drop a camo, not will drop a camo. So it got fixed pretty fast. And from what I've seen too, they aren't fighting refunds at all for this, so they're fixing their mistake. But that's my take on it. It's just another simple communication and translation issue, which wargaming, you know this is your issue. Why haven't you fixed it yet? Don't tell me you don't have one dude at Wargaming HQ that doesn't speak English, that can look through this. Like, just take a minute, look through it, read it out loud to yourself, and you'll fix these issues. And I don't think they meant to mislead people with this, because you would have to believe that Wargaming believes that you are that dumb that you will buy these containers with the description saying will get a permanent camouflage, and then you don't get a permanent camouflage, and then that you'll just be like, oh, I guess it's just a chance, even though it says it will. No. This was a mistake. And Wargaming, I mean, again, they how many things have happened recently that have made headlines around the community for things that are far more simple than this? Like, they know if they mess up, it's going to get spread around. But yeah, I don't think it was intentionally done. It's a mistake, a big mistake, a mistake that should have been caught, and a mistake that keeps happening that they really need to focus on trying to eliminate that. And they've done good with some things, like Submarines. Whoever's the guy that's in charge of releasing information about Submarines, it's always been very clear, and they give great examples and stuff when mechanics and things change. But whoever's doing this just dropped the ball altogether. But that's my take on it. Alright, speaking of Submarines, Submarines got a bit of a buff in the last dev blog. Submarines are coming in the next stint of ranked battles. So these are some pretty massive changes, so I'll read through a couple of them for you. But basically, every single submarine got an increase in the torpedo speed and the damage speed. And the damage speed and the torpedo damage. They're quite huge too, so I'll read the highlights to you. So U-69, the Tier 6 German sub. The Tier 6, okay, keep this in mind. Speed of the torpedoes increased from 57 to 73 knots. Damage increased from 5,800 maximum damage to 7,067. Reload time reduced from 60 to 58. Also, the hydrophone got buffed across the board by about 15 seconds and about half a kilometer too, just in general. I'm sorry, the detection range got cut down by about a kilometer and a half in general, my bad. Alright, U-190, the Tier 8 German sub. Speed increased from 62 to 77 knots for the torpedoes. Maximum damage increased from 5,800 to 7,467 damage. U-2501, the Tier 10. Get a load of this. Speed of the torpedoes increased from 64 to 82 knots. 82 knots. I'm pretty sure these are the fastest torpedoes in the game now. And maximum damage increased from 5,800 to 7,700. Oh boy. Alright, the Cachalot, the Tier 6 American submarine. Speed of the torpedoes increased from 66 to 82 knots. The Tier 6 has 82 knot torpedoes for the Americans. Maximum damage increased from 6,500 to 7,833. Reload time reduced from 52 to 50 seconds. The Tier 8 submarine, the Salmon. Speed increased from 68 to 86 knots. 86 knots. 86 knots. Now these are the fastest torpedoes in the game. They just beat out the what was it? The E-2501. 86 knots. Damage increased from 6,500 to 7,833. Maximum damage. Reload time reduced from 50 to 48 seconds. The Balau. Changed the parameters of torpedoes. Maximum speed of torpedo increased from 70 to 89 knots. Almost 90 knot torpedoes. You can get skills to make your torpedoes go faster too. You freaking 90 knot torps. What the heck? Maximum damage increased from 6,500 to 7,833. And no change in the reload time there. Okay, Wargaming. Remember how you went from making big changes to small changes? Because with the CV rework, CVs were going from hand of God to utterly useless. You're getting back into the habit of that with the submarines now. Now, I will agree, and I even said this in the video that I made covering the last round of submarine testing. The damage of the subs went way down, the amount of damage that they could reasonably do in a match. Like, it did get absolutely dropped, of course. But, and now I would see why you'd want to increase the speed of the torpedoes and the damage. I would see why you would want to do that. But good lord, do one at a time, not both together, because now we've got submarines with 90 knot torpedoes. They can do almost 8,000 damage a torp. Now granted, this is 8,000 damage if you get the double ping, and if the torpedo connects, then you get the Citadel hit. And that's how you do, 7,833 damage with the Balau. So, yeah, it's not like they can just throw the torps at the ship and do that much damage all the time. You have to get the double ping for that to happen. But 90 knot torps, homing torps too, I think that's a bit much. Again, if you wanted to increase the speed a bit before dialing up the damage and seeing how that would go, or dialing up the damage first but leaving the speed to the original speed, I would understand that. And again, I get this is in testing. This is, again, 100% in testing. So this could all change, of course, after this next round of Submarines and Rank. Because again, this is one test session. It's not confirmed that this is what it's going to be like when these submarines come out. But good God, and I could completely understand increasing the speed of the torps, because they changed the way submarines are supposed to be played in game. They said that they want them going after cruisers and destroyers rather than battleships and aircraft carriers. And yeah, you are going to need some pretty quick torpedoes for that. But 90 knots is a little excessive, I think. Just a little bit there, Wargaming. But yeah, when Rank comes out, get you a Balau and go frickin' ham with some 90 knot torps in Ranked and co-op. So we'll see how this goes and what these submarines play like now with 80 and 90 knot torpedoes that can do almost 8,000 damage with a Citadel hit with a double ping. Again, I'm not a fan of going back to the big changes each patch, because these are absolutely massive changes, massive buffs to these submarine torpedoes. I think they need to dial this back a little bit, and that very well may be what they do. They may just throw up these crazy numbers and see how they perform in ranked, and just start slowly dialing them back. I understand that; that's part of testing, but whoo boy, yeah, these things are gonna be pretty nutty in this ranked and co-op session where we will be able to play these submarines. All right, last big news that we're going to talk about: Soviet CVs got nerfed again. So if you didn't watch the last devblog video, Soviet CVs got hit with a nerf hammer really freaking hard. Like, they lost their heal. All their planes lost all their heals. On planes that have less health than the Ranger does at tier 6, that are as slow as the FDR's planes, and they all attack at once. That's their gimmick. The whole squadron attacks at once, so you can shoot down planes and reduce the amount of ordnance coming at you. And like I just said, they don't have a lot of health, and they're very slow, so theoretically it should be easy to do. So, oh, and if I didn't mention that, link to these dev blogs are all in the description down below. I say that every time, so I would assume most of you watching know that if you want to read this for yourself, and I do encourage you guys to do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. So, ST 10.7 changes to test ships and skills. They changed the skills, too. Connecticut, this is the Vermont that's supposed to be meant for brawling. They didn't really release any details about it beforehand. They just said that it's a Vermont meant for brawling. So let's see what's up with this. Detectability range by sea reduced from 18 to 16 kilometers. Other detectability ranges reduced accordingly. Changed the repair party consumable. Restoration of hit points lost after receiving damage to the Citadel increased from 10% to 50%. Reload time reduced from 80 to 40 seconds. So this is an improved heal now, and that's very nice. Okay. Action time, the damage control party consumable increased from 20 to 30 seconds. That's very nice. Now, the American battleships get the 20-second damage con, which is already an improved damage con, because for the 20 seconds that is active, you won't be getting set on fire, and floodings won't be set on you. So now they increase it to 30 seconds. That's very nice. Casemate armor thickness reduced from 150 to 51 millimeters. Ooh, boy, okay, dang. Time to reach maximum power during boost has been... During boost? It has a speed boost? Oh, man. Okay. Has been increased. Okay, so... we're moving forward by 75%. We're moving backwards by 100%. So it says during boost has been increased. So I guess it takes longer to reach its maximum speed now. Time to reach maximum power during boost has been... Yeah, okay, so they nerfed the speed boost that it had that I didn't know it had. The parameters of the AP shells are now similar to those of the Vermont. Maximum cell damage increased from 14,300 to from 14,300 to 15,750. Initial shell velocity reduced from 832 to 732 meters. Oh, so it had quicker shells beforehand, but it did less damage, and now it's more in line with the Vermont. Okay. Change shell ballistics. Now it takes longer for them to reach the target. Oh, so it had quick AP. So it had un-American AP. It had decent AP speeds, because American battleships have very, very slow shell velocities. So when you're shooting AP at ranges of over like 18-ish kilometers, it takes a hot minute for those shells to get there. But now the Vermonts didn't have... I'm sorry, the Connecticut didn't have that, but now it does. Alright. British battleship incomparable tier 10. Torpedo range reduced from 12 to 10 kilometers. Change shell ballistics now takes longer for them to reach the target. Okay, so Incomparables lost its DD status. It now has 10 kilometer torpedoes. And it sounds like the shells are much slower now. Alright. The Ragnar, the tier 10 Pan-Euro DD. Detectability range by submarines increased from 4.2 to 4.7 kilometers. Number of repair party, surveillance radar, and emergency engine power consumables reduced from 3 to 2. Oh, sad Ragnar. Alright, the Serov, the tier 6 Soviet CV. Torpedo bomber parameters have been changed. Size of attack in flight reduced from 6 to 5. Number of aircraft on deck reduced from 15 to 3. Standard torpedo bomber restoration time increased from 57 to 68 seconds. Researchable torpedo bomber restoration time increased from 68 to 82 seconds. Did they do this across the board? They did. They reduced the amount of aircraft on deck and the amount of aircraft per carrier across the board, and increased the restoration time by about 10 seconds for the Serov, the Pobeda, and the Admiral Nakimov. Wow. So for the Pobeda, the attacking flight has been reduced from 6 to 5. Number of planes on deck from 15 to 3. The Nakimov reduced the number of aircraft in the flight from 8 to 7. Aircraft on deck from 24 to 18 for the Nakimov. And again, for both the Nakimov and the Pobeda, they got about a 10-second nerf to the restoration time of their aircraft. Oh, boy. Yeah, so it's crazy seeing how many nerfs these Soviet CVs are getting. And these are hard nerfs, especially for CVs that don't have backup squadrons. Like, you're sending out all of your planes at once to go attack a target, and you don't have a heal anymore. And these planes, again, the Nakamos fully upgraded and fully researchable Tier 10 planes have less HP than the Rangers Tier 6 stock planes. That's how little health these planes have, and they keep reducing the squadron size. And they took the hill away a couple of dev blogs ago, so they must have been ungodly powerful if they're getting nerfed this hard in testing. So we'll continue to follow this and such. Alright, so other test ships. The Brandenburg, the Tier 8 German BB, that's an Odin with another turret. Increased accuracy of secondary battery is now similar to the parameters to the Bismarck. Oh god, what was it beforehand then? Main battery reload time reduced from 28 to 26.5 seconds. That's nice. Sigma parameter increased from 1.6 to 1.8. Now keep in mind, this is the Odin's 305mm guns. So they're not large guns. You got 12 of them though, and the parameters just got a little bit more accurate. So that's pretty nice. And that's something I said in the Brandenburg video. It was not very accurate at all, and the secondaries weren't very good. But now both are more accurate. It's got a buff to its reload time and a buff to its Sigma. That's nice. Alright, the Carnot, the Tier 9 French supercruiser. Fuse arming time increased from 0.01 to 0.033 seconds. So this means you've got more punchy AP. It's not going off as fast anymore like the British BB AP. It's got a bit more of a delay to it now, so it can pierce the armor a bit more before exploding, which also means it's going to be slightly worse against lightly armored targets like light cruisers and cruisers in general. Kearsarge, the Tier 9 American hybrid battleship carrier monstrosity. Size of attacking flight increased from 3 to 5. Amount of hit points per plane increased from 1,660 to 1,840. So her planes have Tiny Tim rockets, which after the rocket delay nerf aren't very good at attacking anything that isn't a large cruiser or a battleship. So yeah, I don't think the planes are going to be too much of a problem with this ship either way, unless they really buff them. Rochester, the Tier 8 American cruiser surveillance radar consumer has been replaced by smoke generator. The Golden Line, the Tier 10 Dutch cruiser, fuse arming time increased from 0.01 to 0.033, so same thing with the Carnot. Java, the Tier 3 Dutch cruiser, main battery reload time increased from 10 to 10.5 seconds. And here comes some very good news, massive buffs to the German battleship split line. So all the battleships from Tier 6 to Tier 10, which these are battle cruisers, their rear turrets can now rotate 360 degrees. That is such a huge advantage for a battleship to have. It's massive, because you don't have to wait for an eternity for your rear turrets to traverse around your ship. They can just go straight to where you're pointing at, and plus you don't have to move your ship, because sometimes it's quicker to just shift your ship rather than waiting for those turrets to rotate. Ain't got to do that no more with the German BB split, with the German battle cruisers. The rear turrets can just rotate straight to where you need them. You can always keep your bow pointed toward the enemy. That's going to be very useful with their icebreaker bows that the higher tier ones have. Some much needed love there to the German BBs. Alright, so the skill changes, the commander skill changes. So for the cruisers, AA and ASW experts, a 4-point skill. Move the activated effect. Ship consumable reload 5% faster while the ship's AA is active. Battleship skills, AA defense and ASW expert. Remove the activated effect. Ship's consumables reload 5% faster while the ship's AA is active. Yeah, because the AA is active almost all the time on battleships now. Improve repair party readiness, a 3-point skill. Activated effect, bonus to the reload time of the repair party consumable for each potential damage value received, increase from negative 0.5% to negative 0.8%. So that's kind of a nice buff. Manual secondary battery aiming, the 4-point skill, the manual fire for secondary skill. When the priority target is changed, the bonus to the new priority target changed from 75 to 80% of the accumulated bonus. That is very nice. So that means like if you're shooting at like a cruiser with your secondaries and then like a DD pops up and you switch to him, you actually only decreases to 80% of what you've accumulated so far instead of 75%. So more accurate secondaries. That's very nice. Submarine skill, Sonarman Expert, 4-point skill, increase the action time bonus of the marked sectors when hit from plus 10% to plus 25%. Alright, please know all information in the dev blogs, preliminary announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The following information, yada yada website. Okay, so a lot of news to go through today, but overall, for the most part, generally good news. Especially with the balancing of the German battle cruisers. If the Soviet series really needed this much nerfing, it's good that they're receiving it as well. I mean, again, these things have gone through some crazy nerfs now, and the submarines some crazy buffs now too. So again, a lot of very interesting stuff that we're just going to see how all this plays out. Again, keep in mind this is all in testing. This could all change, again, this Thursday. They could undo these buffs to the submarines just like that. It's all in testing, and we'll just have to see what it comes out to be like. And who knows, this may be a better change overall for the game with the submarines, with the submarine buffs. Because again, it was really hard to get more than like 70,000 damage, even in like the tier 10 submarines, because of how little damage the torpedoes really do now. And hey, it's more comfortable for the submarines. You gotta think about that too. Think about the dudes playing the submarines. And with the changes to I mean, the torpedoes were pretty easy to dodge in the first place. Now, with the speed changes, might be a little bit more difficult to dodge. But again, if they still work the way they work and the torpedoes try to strike the side of your ship rather than just going straight for your ship, they shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to dodge, especially when you know where they're coming from. But again, who knows? Could be terrible, could be great. We'll just have to see when the submarines enter ranked and co-op with the next patch. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to we've passed that way. We're on our way to 30,000 subs. Just passed 27,600 a few days ago, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.